Today, Xbox had a business meeting podcast update. It had video, but it was in podcast format. It was 20 minutes long, almost to disperse some of the crazy rumors that were going around about Xbox. But before we get into that, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, watch the video all the way through. And if you enjoy that video, watch another video. It tells the algorithm you want other people to watch the video. Let's get into it. So this felt like what I thought it was going to feel like, and it very much felt like a PR, like we're going to be very vague about what's happening, but at the same time kind of tell you what is going to happen right now. And one of those things was there's 4 games that are coming to PlayStation and to the Switch, and these are kind of games that have been out for a long time, more than likely games like Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves. And the reason why they're doing this is because these games kind of haven't really grown any more than they should have, and the only way to grow any further is to put them on other platforms like the PlayStation and the Switch 2 or whatever they're going to call it. And he reassures fans that these are just the only 4 games that are going there. Games like the new Indiana Jones games that they recently announced and Starfield will not be the games that are being ported like people speculated. But at the same time, say that anything that is an Xbox intellectual property and they play it on another device is automatically an Xbox player being played, and they consider that part of the ecosystem, which is the most confusing wording that I've ever heard in my entire life. And to make things worse, they didn't even tell us what those games are. But wait, that's all. So Phil Spencer did an interview with Tom Warren from The Verge, and he said some really interesting thing. Tom Warren asked the question, why is publishing more games on multi-platforms key to improving the long-term success of Xbox? Phil Spencer replies, the games themselves have just a great opportunity to grow. When you find a successful game that is working, that find great customers on our Xbox console, on PC, you think about how do I make sure those game franchises continue to grow. We can invest in them, they can continue to thrive and find new customers. The software part of the business is an easier part of the business to grow and scale. It becomes more about access, both how to do the bits actually get to the screen and even some business model access. So essentially saying he wants more people to be playing these games that really haven't grown any further on the platforms that they're currently on, but they can take advantage of the fact of being on other platforms to grow and invest in them and make money for them. Which brings up the question, and Tom Warren did bring up the question, if the goal is more people playing games and more people discovering them, why just these 4 games and not more? You say you want to learn from these, but surely if they're hugely successful and you see more people are playing them, then you'll do more in the future, right? Which is a good question. Yeah, but we haven't seen that yet. We're obviously one of the biggest publishers on PlayStation and Nintendo today. When you think about the Activision and Bethesda lineup of games, so we know what it means to ship games on Steam, PlayStation, Nintendo, and Xbox. These games are that originally launched on Xbox. They were Xbox branded games, and we want to see what happens. Because going and doing the development work to bring them to new platforms is real work. We want to make sure that the return makes sense. We want to make sure that the audience that's there has an appetite. Maybe they don't. We'll also watch what happens on Xbox as well. Our goal would be that the communities of those games grow. They grow and they thrive, but we'll see. We'll see what happens when they take games that launch originally on Xbox and PC and bring them over to other consoles, other closed platforms we don't know. We've done it a couple times. Obviously, Uri went over to the Switch after we had launched. We launched Psychonauts on both platforms and launched Minecraft Dungeons and Minecraft Legends on both platforms simultaneously. So we have some data about what happens there. We just want to make sure it's good long-term health of Xbox. That doesn't sound like a no. He continued and asked, you mentioned Starfield and Indiana Jones aren't part of the 4 despite rumors, but will these ever come to the PS5? Can you rule that out? I don't think we should, as an industry, ever rule out a game going to any other platforms. We're focused on these 4 games, learning from the experience, but I don't want to create a false expectations on these other platforms that this is somehow the first 4 to get over the dam, and then the dam is going to open and everything else is coming. That's not the plan today. I don't want to mislead customers on those other platforms. We're launching these 4 games and we're excited about it. We're excited about the announce and everything else, but we'll see what happens for our business. I gotta be real. That sounds like if all this goes according to plan and if this exceeds their expectation, then by case basis, they will more than likely bring more Xbox games to the Switch, next generation Switch, and the PlayStation 5. Tom Warren really did a good job in this interview. He really pressed Phil Spencer really hard when it came to asking questions, and he asked this really difficult question that me, myself, and other people are asking about, yeah, you're gonna give 30% of that revenue to PlayStation and to the Switch. Doesn't that undermine Xbox as a whole? You said this in the FTC. So this is what he asked. I want to go back to something you mentioned, the FTC versus the Microsoft case. You testified that putting Xbox on PlayStation means that Sony uses 30% of the revenue that they get from these transactions to try to basically kill Xbox or undermine Xbox in certain ways. So why would you want to do more games on that platform if that's the case? Phil Spencer replies, maybe this is why we're doing 4. I'm going to learn about our partnership with other platforms. I'm going to learn about what happens with our players. I think it will benefit the games that we're putting there, and that's a good thing for us. And if we can use other platforms that have gamers, and maybe some of those gamers don't want to play it on PC and don't want to play it on Xbox, and that can help us grow our business, I think that's great. If the net result is that the other things are punitive to the Xbox platform and try to limit our growth, then we'll have to think more carefully about how to support those other platforms. So they're pretty much saying if this grows the Xbox as a whole, yeah, then more than likely more of these games will come out. Keep in mind, this is a corporation, people. This is a corporation that needs money, that just spent $68 billion in their earnings in order to get Activision Blizzard. They need to recruit that, and they're going to test the waters to see how much they can get away with in order to not piss fans off, and see if this will overall grow their profit margin, and in reality not really have to listen to the people that are getting mad at them, because in reality they'll make more money this other way. This is inevitable, for Xbox. Truly, this is inevitable. They've only grown Xbox Game Pass by 9 million subscribers the past 2 years. So they're at 34 million subs, and they lost 2 million last year in Xbox Game Pass. So in total, it's 34 million, which is insane. That's not good. They wanted and needed to get to 80 million subscribers, and it doesn't seem like they're ever going to get there. I think that Xbox Game Pass, the people who wanted to subscribe to it are subscribed to it, and the people that are not are more than likely not ever going to subscribe to it. And that's sad, because they need to grow this business if they want Xbox to have a new face. And since that face of Xbox and that phase that they're going through isn't working, they have to try something else. They absolutely do. To grow Game Pass, to grow Xbox as a business as a whole, they have to do something. But let me know in the comment section if you think more games are coming. Do you think these games are going to be successful on other platforms? Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And if you enjoy this video and watch it all the way through, make sure you watch another video. It tells the algorithm you want other people to watch the video. And remember, you are pretty good.